termites, obviously from the previous rains, chose this time to start coming from the ground and flying, looking for mates. There was an incredible amount of bird activity drawn to this. There were carmine bee-eaters and a lot of martins and swifts. And the activity was incredibly intense and soon joined by a lot of kites. As the kites started to circle and become active, vultures started to come in as well. This got the attention of the lions, and they all moved slowly towards this activity. They believed probably that it was a kill of some sort, that they could scavenge or chase somebody off. The lions really looked quite confused. The male was ready to assert himself, to claim whatever prize he could, and there was nothing. The pride and the other cubs slowly joined them, and they just lay about amongst these birds. The most beautiful were the carmine bee-eaters, brilliant red flashing around, and the only thing I wouldn't want to be in this day is a termite. With the bird activity, it looked like any termite that actually took to flight got taken. The survival rate of those that did take to flight must have been minimal. There's just no way of escaping this onslaught from the birds. It was an incredible evening, rather surreal, and only when we really backlit the whole activity could you see the termites scurrying from the ground and taking to flight, and how quickly they are taken up. It was a magical afternoon, and one of those really amazing times that summer brings. The lions did not do a lot during the night, and they didn't move very far at all. They were several hundred meters from where we left them the previous evening. When we found them, they were on the move, shifting themselves towards a big open area down the floodplain towards the baobab. They moved to a little termite outcrop, little bit of shade and nice soft grass to sleep. The dominant male who was with this group lagged behind. It's incredible to see how in awe all the cubs are of the dominant male. Quite natural. It's a survival strategy that works incredibly well. The storms here are very localized, and very, very often you get completely drenched when the sun is still shining. The lions don't like the rain. There's definitely an uncomfortable expression that sits on their faces. These short bursts of rain often last only 10 or 15 minutes at a time. Immediately after that, the sun beats down on you again and it's quite warm. Always after the rainstorm is finished, the lions continue to lick and clean themselves, getting the moisture off their fur. In this thick vegetation that has grown through these islands, monitor lizards crawl amongst the grass and pick out beetles and insects and eggs and anything they can find. But being so short, it doesn't often let them see where they're going. This monitor literally walked into the pride of lions. The cubs had a particular fascination for him. I guess the resemblance of a snake made them fairly cautious enough that they didn't get to a point where they made any contact with it. This monitor lizard was very uncomfortable with their presence, as you could imagine, and spent a lot of time arching his neck and his back and puffing his throat up. Every now and then, the slight movement sent the pride scattering. It was a plaything, but maybe a bit dangerous, so they kept their distance. The monitor held his composure, just sitting and not moving or trying to run away. And waited for these lions to become bored and move on. They left him in the damp weather and continued on their way. The monitor carried on his way and continued doing what he was doing.